For half an hour. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. If it is your first time meeting me, I am Lolita E. Walker. I'm a certified life leadership and executive coach. I'm also a speaker, a doctoral student, a board member, a mommy, an author, you name it, I'm likely doing it. However, for this power half an hour, I love just to bring a little bit of what I call coaching cocktails and conversations. Coaching is where I leave you with a couple nuggets just to challenge your thinking, right? If you can't take them with you, just leave them right there because somebody else is going to grab it. Cocktails is not so much about what you are sipping on. It's more about celebrating the greatness of who it is you are inside of this moment right here. And then conversations is the juiciness that I hope we are going to have here today. So today I wanted to talk about this topic of lessons for life on my doctoral journey. Why? People ask me all the time, guys. They ask me all the time. So, what made you start? What's your journey? Is it scary? They ask me so many amazing things all of the time. And so I said, you know what? Let's go ahead and jump into this thing right here. Now, I'm going to leave you with 10, but I'm opening it up. So whenever you're ready, you can pop off of mute and you can just talk about it because I'm imagining that this doctoral journey is so applicable to life just in general. I was looking at these top 10 that I had here today. And I said, you know what? I really could apply that to life. And I have a coaching client that I'm going to be talking to today. And so I will be sharing some of these with her in her plight so she could really be thinking through some of this as well. I'm always giving people a little bit of soul work. So today is no different. The first is, some people come into this amazing journey and they say they have their journey ready. They start there at the head of their trail. They have their map in their hand. They already know exactly what they're going to research. They've probably already done their proposal, like a draft of it. They've been reading. They've been doing all the things. Guess what? That was not my story. That is not my story. One of the things I want to leave you with is it's okay to be a curious explorer. It's okay to know that you're walking into a fog of uncertainty. And what does that mean? When I started, I knew in life I was going to be Dr. Walker, period. I knew that already. When I was an undergraduate, I said to myself, you know what? I can't wait to come back here and graduate from Morgan State University as Dr. Walker. So I knew that. But I hadn't really done any work around it. I worked in corporate for almost 20 years. I got out, wrote a book, then wrote a couple more, then have been on journeys and here and there and everywhere. And it was on Clubhouse, actually, that I remember saying, I don't know why I started telling this story about I will be Dr. Walker one day. And people who hear me all the time know it was Sean Shapiro one day in Breakfast with Champions who opened up his mic and said, Lolita, I don't know if you know, but you talk about this all of the time. And have you applied? And I was like, oh, no, I actually haven't applied. And I left it there. I thought about it a little bit, but I left it right there. Then the next day, well, how are your applications going? And that just prompted me to say, okay, I am here in the spotlight. I will apply. So I went on, I looked at it, and I applied. And I remember coming back and being like, I applied. And I remembered people saying, Dr. Suki said, well, I'm a PhD mentor. Like, what? What is that? Well, I will be with you and I will meet with you once a week until you get into this program. Absolutely. On Sundays at 11 o'clock. And I'm all about accountability. And the thing is, I talk about my journey. I talk about my journey not only for other people, but selfishly, it's really for me. It's really because that's how I hold myself accountable. Because in my mind, if I'm telling hundreds and hundreds and maybe thousands of people all of the time, then it'll keep me from stopping when things get really scary for me. It'll keep me pressing on because I have all of these people who have expectations now, who I've promised this delivery to. I have myself on the other side of this thing that I can see. So I say all of these things to say that sometimes it's about being a curious explorer and knowing that, guess what? There's uncertainty in this journey, but the beauty of this thing is that on the other side of this, I know what I'm going to feel like. I can see myself walking across the stage. I can see myself with the graduation hat on and the graduation robe on and being so excited. I can see myself holding up Dr. Walker. I can see myself with a new publication or my next book saying Dr. Lolita E. Walker on it. Those are the things that drive me on the other side. But this thing, this journey, I don't know. I don't know what to expect. So that's how I entered in, which is so different. I found out from how a lot of other doctoral students come in. And so I want you to know that even in the minority of wherever it is you are, it is okay to be a curious explorer and to know that, guess what? There's going to be fogs of uncertainty. So when you step inside of this forest, I want you to go along with me on this journey. When you step inside of this forest, then you don't have a map, but you're using curiosity as your compass, that knowing that it's okay. You don't have specific destinations in mind, but for every milestone you hit, you decide that there's a lesson inside of it. And those are the lessons that I'm sharing with you today. So whatever journey you're on, mine just happens to be a doctoral journey that I'm talking about today. But whatever journey it is that you're on, I want you to think about walking that journey and having it synonymous with what I'm talking about today. All right. So the first is remembering that it's okay to be a curious explorer. And here's the thing, the fog is real. So my PhD fog is real. Your fog in whatever this journey is real. Your fog to entrepreneurship is real. Your fog to climbing up a corporate ladder. Your fog to starting your new nonprofit organization. Your fog to running for a political office. Whatever that thing is, it's okay. And the fog is real, because sometimes what I know is that fog can then create this blurriness on the edge of where it is you want to go, on the edge of what's my purpose in doing this thing, on the edge of, guess what? Concealing the blessings and the treasures that are there within. The fog is not always bad. So through this journey, I want you to know that there's going to be some hidden things along your trail. And I want you to know that it's okay to explore and not know what's right before you. I always talk about this notion of knowing, like having clarity plus confidence equals commitment. And when you're clear, but that clarity might just be the feeling of what it is you're going to feel like and be doing at the end of this thing. The journey isn't clear. The journey isn't clear at all. So we've got to navigate this thing and make sure that we're taking all of the hidden pieces. And so the first thing I wanted to leave you with for the lesson was be a curious explorer and know that that's okay. Know that you're walking into fogs of uncertainty. So I want to encourage you on whatever journey you were on at this particular time, that guess what? It's okay. Because on the other side of this thing, on the other side of wherever it is you're walking, is the feeling of excitement, is the feeling of your why, is the knowing that that is where I'm headed and I'm on my way. The second thing is to seek hidden help. Seek the hidden help, because there's clues. There's clues in the footprints, y'all. There's clues in the footprint, because you are not the only one who has traveled this thing. You are not the only one who has traveled this path, although the journey is your own. You're going to be able to uncover what I like to call pieces of wisdom along the way. Imagine puzzle pieces. Imagine you're putting these things together. So as you're traveling your journey, you're uncovering new things. And that's just another piece to put into the puzzle of the things that you didn't know. What are the puzzle pieces that you're picking up along the way? Maybe it didn't fit the first time. Maybe when you picked up that puzzle piece, it's for later along the line and you don't even recognize it yet. So as you trek through what I'm calling, in my mind, this academic forest, in your mind, it could be an entrepreneurial forest. In your mind, it could be, the authorship. Maybe you're finally writing your book and you are uncovering all of these hidden things. But what I want you to know is that there are people who've walked this path before. So look at the footprints and uncover it. And I'm talking to myself as well. So for me, even sometimes asking for help is so hard, right? There's people who have done it. So what about reaching out to them? I know some people, I went to a valedictorian and salutatorian event last night where they were being celebrated, all the high schools in Prince George's County, and the valedictorians and the salutatorians were being excited and they were being celebrated for really having the highest GPA in their school. And I took my son And I took my son, although he didn't want to go with me, he's 12 years old. I took him because I wanted him to see the endless possibilities that exist. I wanted him to know that you too, no matter where it is you are right now in 6th grade, going into 7th grade, that this is the excitement that comes when you give your all and do your all. And everybody isn't a 4.2 student. Everybody might not be going to Princeton or Morgan State University, but sometimes it's the trades. Though there were folks that were standing up saying, I'm a licensed cosmetologist because inside of my school, I was able to take up a trade and I have a certification now that I'm graduating. Guess what? I have a certification now and I have my 2-year degree because I went to a international baccalaureate program. And so I'm graduating with an associate's degree right now, but this is what I'm going to do with it. Guess what? I'm going into the Air Force, but I already have my sights on what I'm going to do and be a mechanical engineer. That stuff is the dreams that some people don't have an opportunity to even see as they're growing up. Sometimes there was a student who stood up and she's the first generation American in her family. And her parents had on the earphones for translation because they didn't speak English. And her journey is just so powerful. And for that, imagine the fog of insecurity or the fog of uncertainty and insecurity along the way. But look at her now and look at the pride that is there. That is power. That is her knowing that there's excitement on the other side of this thing. And so I want you to know that you are an inspiration to somebody along the way. And the footprints that you are leaving in the sand, somebody is going to walk in. So walk in the footprints that somebody has left for you. We can seek the help that we need. They didn't get there by themselves. Absolutely not. I saw something today. I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw on The View, I'm pretty sure it was The View, that this is Teachers Appreciation Week. And Tiffany Haddish was on there. And she was saying about her teacher, and Miss Gibb was her name. And she was talking about how inspirational she was and how she taught her to read, how she knew and recognized that even through the comedy in class that she couldn't really read. Tiffany couldn't read. And she took her and she said, hey, for lunch or after school, I want you to come. And she just sat with her and helped her read. And she said by the end of that semester, she could read. And there was no other teacher who recognized that she couldn't really read. She was just making it through. And they surprised her and they had Miss Gibb there. And the power of a teacher being able to pour into you, the power of somebody saying thank you, the power of somebody recognizing that you need help, because sometimes the ask isn't always there. So along your journey, I want you to remember that you can ask, that it's okay because there's somebody that's looking on. And if you see somebody that needs a little bit of help and you have the expertise to be able to do it, why not pop in? The journey is not yours alone. There's other people that's there. And so the hidden help that I'm talking about along the journey for number 2, for the lessons, is that seek the hidden help that's there and know that there is help that is hidden along the way that you don't always see. Remember, I talked about this complex puzzle, and sometimes you pick up these pieces and it might not fit and you're like, oh, you get so flustered, and sometimes you want to give up along your journey. That's why I talk about my journey so much. I reminded you, I talk about it so I won't give up. I talk about it because there's people that'll ask me, how you doing on that journey? I talk about it, but because for me, it looks like accountability. But some people don't talk about it. I remember I'm on the Board of Education, and I remember there's a member of the Board of Education, and one day he just came in, and his name was Dr. Harris. I was like, you on a doctoral journey? Who knew? And that's okay too. Some people don't talk about it because they want to be all focused. They want to be very focused on what it is that they're doing. It could be a million different reasons why. Some people don't want other people in their business. Some people don't want people to put the obstacles in their way and hate on them in their way, because that's why they don't talk about it. And I recognize that. So everybody's journey is their own. And I want to encourage you to ask along the way. Okay? Yay. I like Cindy Baker said, yay to teachers. Absolutely. I'm an educator too. I'm an educator who's being educated. I love it. Number 3 is insecurities. Okay. So insecurity along the way, knowing that it's going to come. Insecurity. What if we on our journey looked at it like this is the bridge to growth? What if your insecurity was a bridge to growth? So on your journey, you might come across one of those cool little small bridges. right? You might come across that thing, and because it's your journey, you can make the journey how you want it. You might come across one of those cool little bridges and know that it could be a rickety bridge, it could be a nice bridge, but what if it's this old rickety bridge that connects you to your growth, that connects you from your comfort zone to your growth zone? What if you cross it and it wobbles sometimes? What if you acknowledge that, yes, there is fear, yes, it's wobbling, but you keep on moving it? On the other side of that thing is where you find your confidence and your commitment. On the other side of that thing is where you find the purpose that you started being shaky about. On the other side of that thing is where you knock imposter syndrome out the way. On the other side of that thing is the tears that you've shed on your journey that's now fertilizing the soil. There's buckets of tears everywhere along there. Absolutely. There's pain, there's pricks, there's thorns along there. Absolutely. But what if that's what's helping you grow? What if that is what is blossoming the beautiful flowers that are now surrounding your space? My son listens to this meditation on Insight Timer. Oh my gosh, I forgot what the name of it is. But inside of it, they take you through this pictorial journey. And as you're closing your eyes and you're going to sleep and you're meditating, this amazing woman is talking and she's saying, imagine yourself maybe going up steps. But a part of it is imagine yourself in this garden. Imagine the colors of yellows and blues and greens and reds. And I want to say to you, imagine that your tears are fertilizing this soil. Imagine the thorns produce these beautiful roses that are there. Imagine on your journey that pricks and pringles are going to happen all along the way. But you are moving forward because on the other side of this thing is all of the amazingness that I've just spoken to you about. I love it. I get excited about all of these things in the pictorials that we talk about here. And here's the other thing too. Don't forget that along your journey, there's going to be storms of doubt. Sometimes it's dripping, sometimes it's just a drizzle, and sometimes it's the big storm with the thunderstorms that you can hear in the background. Here's the thing is that there will be storms of doubt. Storms might brew with questions like, am I good enough? Am I on this journey alone? Storms might be brewing with questions of drenching you in doubt, or what legacy am I seeking for myself? Is this thing worth it? What if I told you absolutely yes? It might be drenching you in what change am I truly going to make as a result of doing this thing? Well, if you already feel it, know it, and trust it on the other side, I want to remind you that the storm doesn't last always. The sun will come out because we're grabbing people along the way. Somebody along the way gave you an umbrella right there. Sometimes you might not even have the tools that you need, but you're being drenched inside of all of these. But guess what? Along the way, those footprints, the reason that there's still footprints is because somebody got to the other side. And so will you. So will you. I don't know who I'm talking to this morning, but so will you. And sometimes I play back my podcast episodes because sometimes I got to remind myself of the lessons along this journey because it does get stale. It does get hard. And so the fourth lesson is to remember that there's benches along the way. Remember that even if there's not a bench, you could just sit down where you are and recognize that there's power in your pause. You'll find these places where you recognize, I got to sit, I got to pause, I got to reflect, I got to celebrate. I got to celebrate all of the amazingness that's happened for me to get here right now. I got to look at, you can't see it from here, but over here is my small wins board. If you're looking at me on YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn, is that there's a small wins board that I have on a wall. And literally it's just a sticky that you just write up, and every day you write your small win right there. But there's small wins that you have along the way. And so sometimes you got to sit and you got to pause, you got to reflect, and you have to celebrate. And sometimes you're mourning the loss. You're mourning the loss of something you let go along the way, someone who has passed along the way, some friend that is no longer a friend along the way, some paper that you didn't get in on time along the way, the B that you thought was going to be an A along the way, the presentation that didn't go well along the way. There's something that's happened. You didn't get that promotion that you've been promised, that all of the things along the way. And so what I want you to know is that this is a time to recharge, in that the benches, they're not just rest stops. They could be sanctuaries for you. They could be places where you have self-discovery. They could be places where you're sitting, you're pausing, you're reflecting, you're crying, you're adding tears to the fertilizer. But guess what? The next thing I want to tell you, which is number 5 along the list, is that what if on your journey there's the power ups and the level ups? Okay. What if along the journey there's the power ups, the level ups, the all of the things? You remember playing Super Mario Brothers and you jump on something and boom, you got a lot of power? That's on your journey too. And it might not be hidden. It might be lit all up. Did you play that? Did somebody play that? You got to.
Yes, I did, because you're on fire, Lolita. Go, girl.
I love it.
I was being super Mario. I said, girl, I needed this. I'm over here in tears, so keep going.
Oh, I love that, because guess what? Sometimes we're talking to somebody along the way. So I love that there's somebody there, because the power-ups, okay? Sometimes you got to jump on the little thing. The little thing that powers you up and boosts you along the way. Think of your favorite video game, okay? I want you to imagine it. And then I want you to know that there's a supportive advisor along the way. When you jump on it, that thing is going to boost you to a whole nother atmosphere, okay? It's going to boost you. It's powering you up and over. Sometimes it powers you to another level and you're like, oh, okay. You get a little bit of spunk into it. So today, let me be that power up. Let me help to level you up to where it is that you knew you could already go. But guess what? You decided that the thorn might have hit you on the side. Today, here's your power up. I can actually hear the Super Mario Brothers in my head. Okay? Dun, 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 dun. Right? You're going. You turn it up a little bit more. You turn me up a little bit more. And boom, you're powering up. And it's like ding, 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 ding. And you see all of these points just going everywhere. Today is about your power up. Today, you're going to know that along your journey, guess what? What if you knew that there were hidden keys and there were hidden power ups along the way? My son Googles all the time about, okay, where are the hidden things inside of his video game? Oh my goodness. Yes, Google can be your friend, asking somebody, where are these hidden paths? Where are the power ups? I'm on this journey and I know where I want to be. I know I want to be Dr. Walker, but where are the hidden power ups? And I'll tell you, I was talking to my teacher the other day because the semester's ending, and I was asking all these questions. I'm like, oh my gosh, had I known what I know now, the first semester summer, I would have done this. The summer after my first year, I would have done this. This is the summer that's coming after my second year. Now I need to do this. But if I had known this then, and he's like, I told you. But I told you. And then we said, but when you don't know what you don't know, you don't even understand what you're telling me, because my fog was there and I was so busy trying to make sure I did well on this part. But what if before you even start the journey, you talk to somebody and say, hey, can you just tell me where the hidden things are on your journey? Because now I have a different mindset going in. And what he said to me is, Lolita, I think even if I would have told you something different or made it into a pictorial or all of these different things, I just think that when you come in, you're so overwhelmed because you didn't know what you didn't know. Okay. And now you know it. And so now you'll do better. So how will you tell the next generation? Okay, so in these next 5 minutes, I'm gonna just run through it, you guys, for the final 5, because I've gone on some tangents here. I wanted to remind you that the number 6 is that there will be whispering trees of passion, to remind you that your passion is gonna fuel you. The trees, you know, sometimes when it's a little bit windy, it's like the trees are whispering to you. The trees are telling you and reminding you of your passion. They're asking you questions to unravel everything that's already there for you. What keeps you up at night? The guidance of these trees, the whispers. Number 7 was the mentor's lantern, like the guidance of the light and the mentors along the way, the whispers and the passion and the drives that's pushing you. Those things right there are going to illuminate your path. I want you to believe it. I want you to trust it. I want you to know it. Number 8 was about the blank canvas. I put the blank canvas thesis. So imagine your thesis is a blank canvas, because mine is right now. That's why I put it. And I have to remind myself that you might not be sure what the masterpiece is, but you already have all the colors. You already have all the tools. You already have each conversation that's going to add to the hues of your palette. You already have them. So now it's time, Lolita, to mix them up, to experiment, to depict the songbird migrations and all of the metaphors that's going to come to you. Because here's the thing, your picture is your poetry. Your picture, your journey, the mix and the mingle of how you get there on the other side of that thing is a bigger, better, and bolder you. You've got to know it. Sometimes I do these episodes and I talk to you all because it's what I need along the way. And y'all just happen to be here, right? Y'all just happen to be here along the way. And so I'm just excited that you're excited about your journey. Number 9 is about knowing that there's going to be a campfire along the way. So let me tell you, because it's coming. The campfire, when you think about it, it's all these people that's around the campfire, right? Maybe it's 5, maybe it's 6, maybe it's 25. I don't know who's at your campfire, but imagine there's a circle of people. You're sharing stories, you're exchanging ideas, you're sparking inspiration. They aren't distractions, these campfires. What if they're just brilliance? What if they're brilliance for all of the people that's going through the thing? What if it's the power up that you needed along the way? What if it's a fellowship campfire? What if you looked at it in a way that's going to help you navigate? And then the last thing is that knowing that there are hidden springs along the way where your passion bubbles up, where you visualize all your data, where it's all coming together. I'm waiting for that. It's hidden right now, but it's coming. It's bubbling up. It's somewhere. It's already along the passion, because I believe that God has already blessed the thing. He knows on the other side of it where it is. And so I'm just traveling this journey. And so it's hidden right now, but it's going to come. Your curiosity that started you on a path of where you are is what is going to help you find all the hidden keys, all the hidden sprigs, all the hidden things that are there that I talked to you all about today. Your canvas might feel blank right now, but you have the tools that you need. And if you don't, you're surrounded by people, or the people who you're surrounded by know somebody who knows somebody that can help you out. And let me also tell you this, Google is for everybody. And if you're listening to me now, you have the internet. And so Google it. There's AI tools that can help you on your journey. Ask it a question. Ask it where to go. What's next? Where can I go get information for this? And it will guide you. I want you to know, I want you to trust, I want you to believe that you are power where it is that you stand. Okay? Oh, I love this. Stephen Wicks on LinkedIn. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I saw this. He said ethical cheat codes. Ethical cheat codes. That's so good. Oh, I'm so glad you said that, Mr. Wicks. Ethical cheat codes are along your journey. Oh, so good. All right, guys. I want to open it up if you have anything that you want to add for this minute or two. That's so good. I'm inspired. I'm excited. I'm powered up. And I am going to do something a little different today. There's some readings that I need to do on my journey. I'm focusing on entrepreneurship. And I can't wait to just lean into the journey. And what I'm looking at is, taking a look at how our entrepreneurial mindset can really shift and shape these organizations that are there, because we're powerful where we stand. And when you have that mindset of an entrepreneur, how then can that lean into the corporate strategy, strategic entrepreneurship, and all of the things? So once I nail it all down, guys, I can't wait to come and talk to you all about it, because there's power in all of the things. So thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And thank you for going on your journey, because it's no short of power.